So is it my turn yet? Sorry,
yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay.
The floor is for you.
I will share my Can you see this presentation?
Yes, yes, sure. Thank you.
Okay. I apologize for being late. I had problems connecting. Everything's fine?
Yes, clear,
Good.
very clear.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Min Texas. Howdy all, greetings from Texas in the Mary Kay O'Connor Process Safety Center at Texas at College Station and in Qatar. I am pleased to be with you today and to be part of the first Jordanian International Chemical Process Safety Conference. I want to thank the organizing committee for inviting me. During my 40-year career in industry, I spent 10 years working in the Middle East, in UAE, Qatar, and Oman, and very much enjoyed the experience, and most importantly, the people. I will always value the rewarding and enriching experience and appreciate the green heart of the Arab. I look forward to returning to the Middle East when travel permits, to renew my acquaintances and to make new ones. Before I start my formal presentation, I want to begin by taking a moment to recognize our founding director, Dr. Manan, who built the center from humble beginnings in 1998 and grew it to become a world-renowned center for excellence in all aspects of process safety. Dr. Manan passed away suddenly in late 2018, but left us with a very substantial body of knowledge to build on and grow the center to new heights. For those who don't know the center, I want to take a moment just to quickly run through the kinds of things we do at the center. Our motto is to make safety second nature for all the areas that we have in impact and import in. We have a lot of activities towards a mission to improve safety and make safety second nature. We conduct state-of-the-art research in a wide range of areas, process safety, education, as well as providing a forum for exchanging ideas and providing good science-based counsel for those who wish to avail themselves of it. We do a wide range of education and training, but we provide courses in the academic environment. We have a number of degree courses, safety engineering programs. We have them online for our undergraduate and graduate folks, and we provide safety engineering certificate programs for industry people and incumbent workers as well. We do a lot of research, and without going into a bunch of detail, we do research in traditional chemical engineering, in process safety, including sustainable development and other areas. And we do a lot of research with our colleagues in different departments as well. And the research that's done at MKO Qatar is summarized here. LNG safety is one of their substantial factors, as well as human factors and safety culture. We have a guidance document, a guidance group from our steering committee and an advisory committee who provide support to our students, and they provide funding in as well. But we meet with them on several times a year basis, and we showcase our students when we meet with these committees. And we are very grateful to the steering committee and the advisory committee for the advice they give our students. And this is the summary of our steering committee members in College Station, and similarly we have steering committee members in Doha in our technical group there, at the combined technical and steering committee group. And our hope is to expand the industry support over the next few years. This group have been members since the start of the center in Doha in 2013, and we look forward to the opportunity inviting others to join us. And Texas A&M MKO has a wide reach, starting with our center in College Station and in our Qatar center as well. We reach out to a lot of universities around the world, and we are hoping that we might be able to renew these relationships as time permits. So before I start my formal process safety, I want to talk about a little story. I want to share a story with you. And the story begins with a wise old professor standing in front of his class, and in front of him is an empty jar. He puts some large rocks in the jar and he asks the question, is the jar full? And everyone says yes. Then he takes a bag of pebbles and carefully pours it in the jar, and the pebbles find the void spaces among the large rocks. Then he asks the class, is the jar full? And the class said, yep, seems to be. So then he takes a bag of sand and he carefully pours it into the jar, and the sand finds the voids between the rocks and the pebbles, and he's able to put the entire bag into the jar. Is the jar full? Class says yes. Then he takes a picture of lemonade and pours it into the jar, and now indeed the jar is full. So what does this all mean? It means that we have to focus on the things of life. The jar represents your life, or in the case of a corporate scenario, your company. And the big rocks are the important things: family, your beliefs, your values, your favorite passions. And if you had nothing else in your life, you would have a rich, rewarding life. The pebbles are those things like your career, your assets, and the sand is everything else. And the student asks him, what does the lemonade represent? And of course, the lemonade is a reminder that no matter how full your life is, there's always room to sit down and enjoy the company of friends. For the individual, it's important to do not put the sand in first. Then there's no room for the important things. If you spend all your time and energy in this space, then you're not going to really get the important things. And from a corporate perspective, it means that one cannot focus on procedures and practices first, because to do so, you're doomed to failure unless these practices are based on solid foundational principles and beliefs. So individual practices must align with these beliefs through their corporate traits. Only then will programs like process safety have an opportunity to succeed. And in order for process safety programs to proceed, those programs that have company-wide influence, the company has to succeed. This slide represents what I consider an ideal company, well-founded on principles of integrity, on decision-making, good organizational structure. It has got some pillars that support cross-organizational committee programs and such as process safety, asset integrity. It's important that we tie it all together. So this is a view of what I think is the basis of a good operational company, through which we can develop process safety programs that will add value and corporate's value. So let's look at each one first. Integrity. I think integrity, in my view, is the most important attribute and trait that a company can exhibit. Because integrity is the value that individuals and companies put on themselves and their actions. And if they consistently show those values and actions in their business dealings, then they will demonstrate trustworthiness, which is that inside out paradigm saying, I'm consistently going to act in my nature, my beliefs. But then if you do that and do it consistently, then you offer others to trust you, and third parties will then trust you. And that is the substantial basis of a good organizational practice. All employees must confirm through their operational traits. And multinationals who work in a wide range of jurisdictions must have a worldwide standard of care in terms of process safety and facility management based on their foundational principles. And when those are compromised, then one would suffer the consequences, perhaps. And we all remember Bhopal and the subsequent failure of Union Carbide. One has to maintain true to his own beliefs and practices. So in terms of next is innovation. I want to mention a few words about innovation, and more not so much innovation, but the balance between being an explorer and being exploitation. Exploitation is doing things today, the things that you do really, really well. That's short-term focus, efficiency, discipline, clarity of direction. But one has to look at where the industry is going. One has to explore the opportunities in the future. It's a long-term vision. One has to be flexible. One has to know where industry is going and to look where the future opportunities may lie. Success may lie in some future opportunities. So we all know of companies who focus so much on what they do today, on exploitation, that they did not focus and look at where the world was going. And I think the most famous example is Kodak, where they were the first in the digital camera world, but they were so focused on the film industry that they failed to respond to the digital age. And there's many examples as you can see. And it's unfortunate because they were the first to start the digital camera business, but then they didn't believe in it. Then there's also examples of companies who had innovation focus, and because they were focused on innovation, they did not look at the business model. And the Zeppelin is probably the best example, where they did not look at the failures to recognize safety concerns, and they lost the entire business. So lessons to learn. One needs to invite challenge. One needs to get ahead of the crises, be skeptical of success, and think in multiple terms. When an organization starts up, the innovation is a smaller component of doing things well, the exploitation side, but one has to be an explorer, and in 10 years down the road or so, one has to be focused on the changing industry and the opportunities that tomorrow may bring, and be open to suggestions. Risk-based decision management. When it comes to risk-based decisions, companies face two substantial decisions that have the potential to bring a company to its knees should the decision not be an appropriate one. There are planned decisions, such as a major acquisitions, and they reflect all relevant inputs from all the business side, all the market side, risk factors. But unplanned technical decisions that are taken in the moment are usually without the benefit of a detailed risk assessment, looking at the alternative outcomes and the event scenarios, and input from executive management. Process safety principles dictate that we need to take appropriate assessment of risk and the different operational outcomes, and reflect this in a robust risk assessment. Which basically is what I'm saying is that the decision must be taken at the level of organization that reflects the potential consequence of the decision going in the wrong direction. So as the risk level goes up, the level in the organization the decision has to be taken at the most highest level of the organization. In order to do that, these decisions must be referred to the senior executives. So this can only work if the risk team is the independent conscience of the organization to provide risk assessments to support critical decisions with the benefit of the risk evaluations. Other factors are critically important as well. But the management sign-off of these critical decisions is often missing. So we refer to these, So it's important that senior management be engaged in this decision process. So organizational structure, for a company to succeed, its employees must then operate with the organizational traits that reflect the foundational principles. And these are things, as you see here: creativity, results oriented, fostering a work-health balance. And this is critically important because today we have a multiplicity of generations working together more than we ever had before, with different values and different focuses on their life. And these are the pillars on which the programs are based. So all those pillars must be consistently approached and applied. But then one has to tie it. How do we tie it all together? We have to be continually self-examining. We have to look through peer reviews and facility tours, not in the old manner of detailed risk assessments, but more so in the manner of assessing and helping our peers to improve their overall operations. Peer review is critically important. Ongoing meaningful training at all levels, and it must be competency-based. So one has to confirm that the students are learning and being able to apply. Senior management must have an active engagement and participation in the training process to the level required. Sponsoring new programs and initiatives, this is very important. Most large programs need a sponsor from the C-suite level as well as the executive management. Embracing dynamic workforce changes. As I said earlier in the reference below, we examined the several workforces, generations that are working together, and this brings a new challenge to organizations. Striving to become a learning organization. And in Covey's, this is sharpening the saw, the 7 habits of the the habits of 7 people. So tying it all together is critically important. And then you get what you get. Your safety culture is a product of all of these things and doing these things well. If you do them uniformly, consistently across all jurisdictions in which you work, you will have a very mature safety culture. And you will then become a learning organization. Working on safety culture by itself, it kind of obviates the fact that you're not going to get a lot of effort by working on safety culture. You've got to work on the underlying factors that generate what effectively will be your safety culture. So investment in process safety enhances shareholder value and provides a buffer against a major disaster and an impact on company market cap, market value. We all know the market cap hit that Gulf took as a result of the Macondo incident. These organizations with systems in place that make them exceptionally consistent in accomplishing their goals and avoiding potentially catastrophic errors are deemed to be highly reliable organizations. And of course, there's much written in that space. Excellence in process safety yields operational, maintenance and engineering excellence, which yields manufacturing excellence and business excellence. It all comes together. Investment in process safety enhances shareholder value and provides a buffer against any major disaster that has a potential of causing severe corporate disruption. So what is the cost? Dan Kroll, the famous process safety individual, anecdotally suggests that the cost of process safety is about 2% of the bottom line. But if things are done really well by looking at accidents, by providing your support and your foundational principles, you can reduce the cost in a wide range of areas. Your employees are happy, insurance costs, whether it's working with compensation, public confidence is enhanced as well, which is critically important. When we have incidents, we erode public confidence. The net result is as much as 4% of the bottom line, which is a huge amount. So the Center for CCPS indicates that there are four factors for program implementation. Corporate responsibility, process safety is consistently doing the right things every time, each time, every time. It requires corporate management support and underpinning with the principles of action. Effective process results prevent catastrophic incidents, and they reduce the number of severe accidents and provides business flexibility. Going into different jurisdictions, you are much better to realize those opportunities if you are on the very safe side of things. And when properly implemented, process safety helps ensure reliable processes that can produce high quality product on time and lower cost, and hence produce substantial value, organizational value. Comprehensive training in process safety is also very critical. We are we do a wide range of training in not only high training of individuals who are operators, several years experience, but also we're embarking on a new program for colleges where we're going to provide process safety certificate training for incumbent workers operating in the plants in the ship channel area in Texas. So we want to improve the effectiveness of this training and reduce overall incidence rates. This is a critical point of the overall process. And competency-based training. It's important that we confirm that those taking the training can move away and provide the expertise to others. And of course, it must be designed to the appropriate level. There's a lot of training available. So process safety training at all levels, and it has to be consistently, not only training, but retraining, just to reinforce the principles that are coming up. Lots of good examples. ExxonMobil has their OIMS system. DuPont has their elements of process safety. My old company, Oxy, has their risk management standard. And of course, Shell has their process safety fundamentals. A lot of this information is available, but it must then be practiced based on the corporate fundamentals. One has to know his fundamentals: PSM, RMP, organizational principles, operational traits, conduct of operations, operation discipline. And one has to be consistently true to corporate principles and operating values. And if this occurs, then certainly one will reap the benefits of substantially reduced costs. So in conclusion, foundational principles are the basic building blocks of integrity and other substantial building blocks to provide a worldwide standard of care as a key cornerstone. And the principles and operating traits must be adopted by the staff all the way down the operating chain. Long-term success requires a balance between doing things well today and knowing what the world is going, that the world has in favor for your organization. You have to be a bit of explorer. Active engagement of senior executives, commitment and active engagement. Critical plan decisions must be taken at the appropriate level and involve senior folks when the consequences may be substantial, even though that may be difficult from an operating perspective. Competency-based training is critically important. Effective corporate-wide programs will enhance company value, company success, and shareholder value if they are practiced consistently across all jurisdictions. And they will yield a corporate culture of a high reliable organization, which then should add substantial value to the corporation. Mr. Chairman, do I have another minute or two?
Yes, you have 2 minutes extra.
2 minutes, okay. I just wanted to leave with you the focus areas that we at the center are looking at in the future. We are in the process of supporting, and we look forward to supporting, centers of excellence in process safety in other jurisdictions. We have developed enhanced competency-based process training programs for engineers as well as management. And we want to identify new technologies. We have identified new technologies during the pandemic and ways we can interact with our experts, digitization, virtual shutdown, handheld tools, enhanced interactions with all groups to better serve process safety needs. And we want to develop closer relationships with existing satellite centers and develop others. As you saw from the graph, we have a wide range, and we want to spread the gospel of process safety far and wide. And we welcome the opportunity to work with others and increase our research. So as a final comment, we invite you to join us on our mutual journey into the world of process safety excellence. And we look forward to the opportunity of travel and being able to meet everyone in the very near future. Thank you.